Why is it looking that way? Oh my God.
Bienvenidos a Radio Prensa Pobre. Welcome to Poor News Network on KEXU 96.1, the Poor People's Revolutionary Radio on the News Hour. I'm right here in the studio with mi carnala Tiny and Sister Taliba.
That's PNN, not CNN, people. And if this is the first time you hear in this revolutionary news hour, we air on Tuesdays and Thursdays between the Gregorian time calendar of 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. We are available on your radio dial for all you Fruitvale, Park Avenue, Lake Merritt, and High Street listeners at 96.1 FM and streaming live on the World Wide Web all over Pachamama at poormagazine.org/radio.
We didn't cross the border crossed us. Muteado silencio presente y me alegro. Mis palabras son mis balas, mi lápiz es mi arma. Muteado silencio, my words are my bullets. My pen is my gun, so sit back and relax, cause drive by your minds.
Woo! Yeah, we the poverty scholars. That houseless mama, that houseless daughter, all the people you don't want to see, never want to be, look away from me. What you gonna do, arrest me? We're in your city. Yeah, we the poverty scholars. And we are rocking normally our jailhouse attire. Because me and my poor mama did the jail time for the poverty crime of being unhoused in this holler. And yeah, we are liberated land with ain't no man telling us what to do except the liberation of the people. That's our plan. And Taliba, who's you?
Greetings and welcome to the Black MacArthur. You are listening to 96.1 FMLP KEXU, the Crossroads, Pro People Revolutionary Radio.
Oh yeah.
So on today's show is dedicated to the state of emergency of poor folks, black and brown, indigenous people, to even just stay in the neighborhoods that we have lived through our entire lives. And the state-sponsored agency like the Police proposed installing over all of our people and our land, as well the resistance movement like what we've been building right here, Homefulness, for a homeless people solution, houselessness solution. On today's moment in history with the Black Arthur Community Elder and Poor Magazine Extended Family, our sister Taliba. But first, the truth behind the headlines with Tiny.
So yeah, it's a state of emergency, and this is the truth behind the head lies. Corporate media always makes media about us without us. Our poor folks are not the ones writing it, speaking it, reading it, or creating it. So that's what we are. We're the folks that they always talk about us without us. And today I just got a few. First of all, an entire family and our gentrification report, which you can hear in full on Thursday's news hour at 6 o'clock on this same dial. But one story, which we're going to be talking to later, is a brother Willie Beal and his entire family dealing with a scam lord and an illegal eviction out of these streets right here in East Oakland. His family's trying to raise money, so we'll talk to him a little bit later in the show. But it's just, he added into a whole bunch of folks, over thousands now, who are being removed, displaced, and gentrificated out of these streets where folks lived their entire lives and generations before that. The other thing I want to speak upon is a corporate media lie just came out about a mama who's supposedly, allegedly, hid her daughter's body in a duffel bag. And corporate media is going to tell you all kinds of really heinous lies about what happened, but I will say this. That sister reached out to what we call affectionately anti-social workers and case manglers to try to get help in the city of Las Vegas. And as most cities across this stolen indigenous territory the colonizers call Americlan, us poor folks don't get services when we ask. We sit in waiting rooms trying to get HELLTH care for hours, and we don't get help when we need it. So oftentimes us poor mamas get in a position where we don't know what to do. And bringing in my Mama D, for without whom there be no me, Ibaye. When we were on the street barely surviving, there were many times when CPS was called on us because she was considered an unfit mama, and we had no family, no one to turn to. And when you're in that position trying to raise a child, there ain't no other pain exactly the same. So I want to lift up that story behind that story. And lastly, there was a big recent story about a homeless man who, they supposedly raised money for him, $400,000 on a GoFundMe, right? And now there's this big scandal because he spent the money on tickets, to go on a trip instead of, I don't know what, housing or something. Hey, if a CEO at Chevron spends money to go on a trip, does anybody hate him? Right? But when a homeless person spends their money actually trying to make themselves feel better, folk are going to cast shade. Just like that way of just because someone's asking for money on the street, doing a underground economics hustle like we call it at Poor Magazine, street newspaper selling and panhandling, etc. We look at that as a micro business. Guess what? Whether they spend their money on drugs or not, it ain't your business. Because again, I'll repeat, if the head of Amazon spends his money shooting it up his nose, ain't nobody question him. But he has the privilege of privacy. Us folks on the street in this growing emergency in this stolen land don't have that. So my message is, let the brother do something for himself and stop tripping if he did something for himself. And that's our state of emergency today. We'll be talking to Brother Willie real soon. But we're now turning to our sister Taliba, Black Arctic community scholar, who's going to talk about what happened on this day in history.
Okay. Greetings. Okay, today I was just a young teenager myself. I don't even think I was a teenager, but I do remember the visions and the people in the street and the crying and the pain and all the suffering at the Democratic Convention in 1968, where the police vamped on our people and brutally attacked our people because we stood up in protest of what was wrong with this democratic system. And so I just want to remind everybody, today is that day, August 28th, 50 years ago. 50 years ago, and what came out of that was a whole conglomerate of convictions based on lies and based on their interpretation of why people were coming into town, why people were getting together to protest, and to be involved in what we know now and has always been not a democracy but a democracy. Not a democracy but a democracy. Okay, so I just want to say that I'm aware of that, and I hope people will stay in tune and on top of what is current, because what is current was happening back then 50 years ago.
That's right.
And again, I want to big shout outs to Sister Elder Poet Wordsmith Taliba, from right here from the community, who's always supporting us in different ways. With the Guardian. Also every Thursday, rain or shine, we over here breaking bread with the community. But earlier, I was talking to Aliba and also asking her too, that the same things are happening now. And we were talking with Tiny too. What are some of the solutions, that it's true, that there's community violence, and let's be real, some of our folks, because of the lack of jobs, opportunity, community groups, they literally have left our communities in rubble, right? So we're picking ourselves up, by any means. But what do you feel are some of the solutions, Taliba, that we could, introduce to the community to lift up ourselves, against the attack? Thank you. What happened in the '68? That was the time that the Black Panthers were getting attacked. People was whooping people upside the head in Chicago. I'll be
Numerous
honest.
assassinations,
Right? Yes.
that continue.
So
to
the
this
oppression
day.
of our communities is rampant. But in the same thing right now too, with the administration of Trump, there's more police state. I could feel it. I also want to speak, that I've been here 30 years, and I remember when this police station right here on 73rd was just a small little office on the corner, right? But now they have a big old prison again to imprison our folks. A little bit of something you get out of pocket, out of law, you end up right there and then in downtown. But what are some of the solutions you see that we can bring forward, though?
I mean, here we are again 50 years later, and like you just mentioned, almost in the same situation. And it's always been a grassroots situation, that a grassroots collaboration that has brought us out of this.
Right.
Because of course we can't depend on any other type of institutions but our own.
That's right.
To be able to bring us out of this.
That's right.
Of this really serious backwards place that we're in now. I hate to keep going back to 50 years, but that was not that long ago. But then when 50 years come again, what are we going to say? 100 years? And then when 50 more years, what are we going to say? Or what are they going to be doing, looking at us in a museum saying that's the way we used to look? So I'm not sure, there's so many ways to attack this, and I think one of the most important ways, and one of the most flourishing ways that has happened and occurred here on Black MacArthur is the founding of the Poor Magazine, and right here on Black MacArthur, and not only a magazine but a restaurant and a refuge for a lot of people who had nowhere to go, and had nowhere to be, or had no direction and needed direction, and even if they were passing through. And what they provided here, the food that they provided for the people, free, and these are the things that we need. And even at this time now, they are going to be providing housing and shelter. And to even go further back, how did they get this? You know what I'm saying? The way they got this, ain't nobody doing this, and I have to take my hat off, 10 miles every which way. I don't see this happening. I'm not saying that people are not coming together, but the magnitude of what's going on here is just tops to me. And I just know that what they have here is where we need to start, is where we need to get our understanding of how important it is to collaborate and come together like they have in this community on Black MacArthur, because it's just amazing what they're doing.
Well, I want to say, Taliba, you're one of the elders who made it possible on the real, in the sense that, we poor folks, we folks who are houseless, we're folks who are all different colors, all different nations, all different generations. And we're from, other sides of this false colonizer borders. We're from, prison systems. We're from concrete jungles and project housing. We're from the very streets where people are sweeping us like we are trash. And I want to say that when we showed up, a certain Republican, who kind of resembles some of the politics of Ben Carson, aka, some of our neighbors, called us the homeless crack addicts. and said we can't do what we're going to do because it doesn't matter. A lot of times, sadly, it can be folk from our own communities who hate on us even more than supposedly the quote-unquote white man, right? And in this particular case, if we had been Lennar and showed up in white hats and with a big white truck, oh yeah, let's open the door. Let's make that possible. But because of what we are doing, which is liberation, which is revolution, and which is humbly trying to actually be about change in a different way, where we're not even trying to buy and sell Mama Earth, where we're actually trying to, like you said, grow food, and serve love. That kind of
and serve the community.
That's right.
And serve each other.
Right.
Because this is the reason why we came here to this earth. Why would we leave our loving place and come?
Ashe.
If not to serve
Ashe.
and to take care of one another.
Ashe. And I just want to say last words because we have to move on to Willie, who's being evicted right now. I'm going to call him. But I just want to say, you know, one of the things that we started with was our community gardens, right? Not some hipster gentrification project where we put up gardens for the sake of it to raise our property values or put up fences with lights on them like a lot of the so-called community gardens, but really so the community could actually eat vegetables. And you were part of that. And I maybe just could say something in honor of Mama Earth and the Rise for Climate Change and our brothers and sisters Fui and Karina, who are actually bringing this really big movement on September 8th. Just talk about how the medicine of Mama Earth and the Pachamama Garden for a minute.
Oh, without the Pachamama Garden, I mean, food is what we need to sustain and give us the power and the energy that we need to combat this demon. You know, we need to be able to have control of our food and what's in our food and how it's prepared. Because I promise you, dear, it will be one of the quickest ways he will attack us is through our food and through our water. And that's why it's so important that we understand the ramifications of what it means to grow food and have sustainable living, you know, and have a sustainable environment, a sustainable home that's here hundreds of years after we're gone. It's going to be still standing.
Say
this
that.
is what they're about. This is what hopefulness is about.
That's right. Say that. Thank you.
And I love them so much. And Tiny, you a Shiro.
All right.
You my Shiro forever.
I
For
got
real. You my
that's
Shiro.
proud too.
Because you've done something here on Black MacArthur. You've set a precedent that no one else can. And it'll come after you.
Ashe.
And I appreciate you.
Yes.
And I love
got you. All right.
And
so we're going to close out.
Yes. And also, you know, another thing about right here, our beautiful community, we got one of the cheapest dryers and the best laundromat right here in the front. Well, Lucia, you know, and it's not only that, but it's a gathering place because I see Taliba all the time there, and we chop it up.
Sure is, we sure do.
Love El Shusha.
And we check
El
in
Shusha.
and just, you know, and just checking about what's
how we do it.
happening.
That's how we do it. So maybe before we close this segment, because we're going to call Willie next and Equipto, you could do one last KEXU shout out.
Yes,
Sister
and
Taliba.
then we're going to take a little quick music break while we get our brother Willie on the line.
All right.
All right, now you are listening to 96.1 FNLP, KEXU, the Crossroads. And remember, we're at the Crossroads, Pro People Revolutionary Radio.
We out. We'll be right back. Listen up for this music break.
My love.
Okay. We'll be right back, family.
So we're going to call Willie?
Yeah, right away. Yeah, let's do it. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you were great. You were amazing.
Badass, man. You're ready.
I'm sorry, you're gonna have to come in every week. That's all. I have nothing else to say. I have nothing else to say. That's it. We just coined it. The moment in history. The moment in history. I just gave you that. I gave it to you. Let's do that, babe. You already know. All right.
Reading again.
All right. All right. We move in chairs real quick. Okay, go ahead. You're welcome to hang out, man. Don't even trip.
Is Willie
Gotta
coming?
go. No, he's gonna be on the phone.
Okay.
No, it's all good.
right.
It's all good.
Am
You
I
out?
good?
Okay.
I'm out, and
You want to? We'll talk to you soon. Okay.
okay, because y'all gonna be here for a minute.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. Okay.
So,
You're willing to hang. No worries. Did you already call him? So you listen to Poor People's Revolutionary News Hour on KEXU 96.1 FM. Yeah, we poor people on this digital highway at www.poormagazine.org/radio, streaming all over the web. I will say that up next we're actually going to be speaking with a brother.
Willie, he's there.
Oh, great. With a brother who is dealing currently with this displacement crisis. It's hella crazy. Most of our folks who've been here their whole lives can't afford to even stay here. And the reality is that people wonder, oh, what can I do about the homeless problem? Well, you're encouraging and complicit in the homeless problem when we allow these politricksters to continue to allow these speculators to raise our rent, to buy properties, to flip them, and to kick folks out like Frankie and her whole family. Why we did the emergency press conference last week. Oakland enables a 21st century diaspora. This is not an accident. So let's put the dots together and let's welcome Willie Beal. Hey, Willie, are you on the line? Beautiful. You know, we had this funny issue, technical difficulty earlier today, and I realized what it is. On top of just computers failing, we need to start with you talking about your mama, because she was friends with my mama, and I'm like, oh my God, why didn't we do that? So here we go. So maybe you could talk a little bit about her work, and then tell us where you and your family are at. That's right. Yeah. And it was deep. She was a warrior, really intense, like my mama. I mean, when we go through struggles, that's what we call each other, poverty scholars, you know, because there's a scholarship, there's a knowledge in there that people can't understand if they haven't been through it. Yeah, and your mama was there for the folks. I just feel blessed. I feel like she's in the air with us right now. She's definitely watching over you and the babies. So can you tell us what's happening to your family right now?
Can you speak a little louder, brother?
My God. Yep. 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 Yeah. Exactly. And so right now for listeners and viewers on our YouTube channel, Poor News Network, and our Instagram channel, and as well on KEXU 96.1 FM, we are trying to help Willie and his family raise the money because they do need to get settled. They found a spot. I think you can tell listeners you found a spot in Stockton. But as usual, there's these ridiculous amounts of money just to even get into a place. So when we displaced, one of the things people don't understand is not only is the crime and the eviction and the removal from our communities that we knew, but also even the money just to get resettled in a new place. So can you tell listeners what you're trying to do right now? Because we're trying to help this brother and his family, his 5 children and his partner, raise, I think, $3,000, right? Okay. And what is it for? Can you tell listeners and viewers? Right. Exactly. So for folks who want to help, which we really encourage that you do, and we're going to put it out to all of the folks who support Poor Magazine, please go on to GoFundMe and find Help the Beal, B-E-A-L-E, oh no, excuse me, B-A-A-L, right? Help the Beal Family Secure Housing. If you have trouble finding that link, you can go on to Facebook. It's on my page. Lisa Tiny Gray Garcia is also going to be on Poor Magazine's page. And, or you can call us at 510-435-7500. Again, 510-435-7500. And we will make sure that this family, that you get to their fund. They only need to raise $3,000, but they need to raise it fast. Shout out to North Oakland Restorative Justice, to Max, and all the folks, to Auntie Frances also, who's trying to bump this story out, to our comrades. We need to support this family. They never should have had to deal with this in the first place, but we're dealing with a world right now where Mama Earth is being bought and sold and pimped and played, and where our families have to put out all this money just to stay safe. So let's not let this family go. You want any last words, Willie? We know we're behind you. We got you as much as we can, and we're going to make sure you get the resources. Any last words for listeners? Yes. Beautiful. Right on. Anything else you want to say? That's what's up. And I know that you're a warrior just like your mama. You're a good son. So, whenever you get settled, just know there's an open invitation to roll with us in the projects we do. Roofless Radio. That's R-O-O-F, Roofless, where we talk and help and feed and support our brothers and sisters who are currently dealing with being on the street, being criminalized for the sole act of not having a roof, and all of the liberation movements that are out there. They need your help, they need your strength, and thank you for being a warrior, and thank you for being a good father. All right. We'll be talking soon, and you heard it first, everybody. Please support the family. Go to GoFundMe and find Help the Beals Secure Housing. GoFundMe, Help the Beals Secure Housing. They need to raise these 3 Gs by Friday. Make sure this family is safe. Thank you, everybody. Tune in. We're going to have a quick music break, and then we're going to move on to Speaking with the Crypto. Uh-oh.
Go.
You said we dropped off the stream. The stream? Are we still on? We are?
Yeah. They just probably drop on his end.
Oh, okay. So we're on.
We're on.
Is this
Oh,
a
wait,
crypto?
no. Wait, no.
Okay.
It's 573,
Um,
right?
573-8293.
Here it comes.
Hey, bruh, how you doing? All right, let me just tell listeners and viewers, we back. We live on poormagazine.org/radio and KEXU 96.1 FM, The Crossroads, that's SU, the trickster. So be careful, be woke, and stay alive because the trickster will trick you. But we need those kind of tricks right now because we're in a state of emergency. And in that, this is Poor People's Revolutionary News Hour. And we are blessed to have on the phone the powerful hip-hop warrior, a beautiful good son to Maria, and a powerful community brother, the amazing Equipto. Hey, welcome to Poor News Network, KEXU, bruh. For sure. You know, as we talk, we just came off a call with a whole entire family that literally with 5 children getting displaced and gentrificated out of these stolen Oakland streets. We know how that all went down in Frisco, but you know, on the other side of that is these police and politricksters that continue to basically predate on, prey on, and harass young people, black and brown folks, our elders, houseless folks, basically anybody, so that they can so-called, right, so they can protect property over people. So maybe first of all you could start with talking about, I know you've been doing a really focused kind of reminder work on the politrickster known as Gascon. Maybe you could tell listeners and viewers a little bit about that. Yeah, we're here. We got you. Go for it.
Yeah, we're on stream.
Mm. Uh-huh. say that.
Yeah, what's up, Quick Blessings Muteado, man, right here in studio. Again, you're listening to KEXU 96.1 FM, the Poor People's Radio. Just, we were talking with Tiny, man, and I just want to ask you about just in terms of the police state, that, it didn't start with Trump, we felt under the Bush administration, Obama, he deported even the biggest number of migrant people back home, and literally intensified the whole persecution against migrant people, just like Trump is doing right now with separating families, creating these, literally baby jails, right, where they put in kids and separate them from their families. Oh, I think I'm breaking up. And so, yeah, if you can speak on that, and how you see the police state. We're back on.
That's real. That's so real. I want to do a shout out right now to our brother Leroy Moore and to all of the poor family who, along with me and Muteado, do the How to Not Call the Police Ever workshops. I love that you brought that up, Brad, because at the end of the day, so many of these recent police murders, from Stephon Clark to a brother just recently murdered back east, was because somebody called the police. That 911 call, it never means safety, okay? And part of us, really, right, part of us is decolonizing our minds from the idea that it does. And the kind of trippy part about how we're sort of all enmeshed in this lie that you make, you hit those three little numbers and then somehow you're safe, right? And I love that you brought that up, because part of the piece is that us call cops on ourselves, right? I mean, one of the hypocrisy, as I call it, is even some so-called, conscious people to deal with an issue, they'll call cops on folk. And I'm like, why are you going to do that? And then on the other day, work against, state violence in Palestine, right? I mean, let's be real about, let's bring this stuff to realness and to actual, our own lives. I also, right? And I just want to say, too, that the other piece about that is not an easy thing to do at all. That's not some utopic hippie idea. We do it at Poor Magazine, been doing it for 21 years since my mama and I started out of a car and a doorway and everywhere else, poor people, we were sleeping. But the reality is why? Because we will not engage with the people who test, arrest, and incarcerate us. Yeah, what does that mean? We are poor people. We do hurt each other. Guess what? So what we do is we follow the ways of our ancestors and our elders. We follow a form of indigenous justice. We sit with our elders like Karina and Ish and many others and actually hold each other accountable. And that's an extremely hard thing to do. We're doing that right now with a family member. And it's out of love. It's because we've decided and made a commitment to each other that we will not engage with those murderers, right? So thank you for bringing that up. That's real. Can you maybe share a little bit, because I know you started by talking about the work that your mom is doing on Fridays, and apparently this coming Friday, for listeners to know, is what, the 100th anniversary, or what did you... That's beautiful. A shout out to Maria Cristina and her wonderful badassery. Your mama, right? Right? I just want to say that to make sure everybody knows. Okay, and you for being a good son. I should hope as much happens with my son. But I want to say, can you just say why she originally started that? I know people don't necessarily now, you know how history is. It like happened yesterday. We don't even know about it. You're part of the Frisco Five, and that came out of that work, right? And just maybe give us a quick bit on that. Right. 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 Thank you. That's real. That's right. That's right. And exactly. And I just want to shout out, exactly, and a shout out to Idris Stelly Foundation, Mama Misha, the Coalition for Justice for Luis Demetrio Gongora Pat, Ivaye, Almicar Perez Lopez, O'Shane Evans, so many more of our brothers and sisters. You brought up Kenny Harding and Danica right? There are so many of our brothers and sisters who basically are resisting this police terror, the anti-police terror project, Cat Brooks, all of the cats who are on that, just lifting up the work, right? Sometimes we get into this sort of like, a little bit of weird space with our folks. And I just want to say, I want to lift all of these revolutionaries up with love, because everybody's conscious, they're on it. And no matter which way you walk in, you're trying to be about change. And that's really what this is, right? And I just also want to say, too, that one of the pieces about that as well is that there is, ongoing work. A shout out to our brothers and sisters on the national prison strike right now, who are on the other side of the razor wire plantation. Shout out to our brother Bilal, who led that from Poor Magazine at the rally at San Quentin, the plantation called San Quentin the other day. But also just to, let folks know that on these airwaves, Sister Rebecca, Louisa, and Maria will be doing a radio program in honor of mothers who have lost their children to police terror. So stay tuned in future weeks and get involved in KEXU radio. This is a poor people's radio. It don't belong to the man. No plantation tells us what to do. So that means these are airwaves that are open and liberated and free. And on that note, maybe
yeah, brother. Again, just like as poets and wordsmiths, man, we gotta ask you, man, to drop a line, little spoken word.
Please.
Whatever you want to bring, some lyrics, some rhymes.
Please. Crypto, do this. Okay. Love you, Brad. And maybe we even get a Crypto to come and do a show. Just saying. What? That's what's up. That's what's up. All right, Brad, we will talk to you soon. Again, you are listening to 96.1 FM. That's KEXU, The Crossroads. That's Eshu's radio. KSU, Poor People's Revolutionary Radio. We're going to take a short music break, and we'll be right back at you. Love you, Crypto. Talk soon. Peace. Peace. So we can both...
Who's next? Yes.
What happened?
This
Oh, okay.
I'm feeling off.
Right here. Moteado is...
Sorry, I'm feeling
getting
off.
more melanin right now as we speak. That's what's happening at Poor People's Revolutionary Radio.
What's next?
Okay, so I was going to say you can do a poem. We have 10 minutes to fill. So you do a poem, I do a poem.
Oh, we can play
Or
some
we can
music
also
too.
talk,
Play some music too.
Yeah, but you should still... Well, we can play a little music and then... Let's give a music credit. Is this all...
Hip hop, yeah,
Nation?
yeah.
Can they hear us?
Huh?
Can they hear us right now?
Or we can call our brother Leroy
That's right.
and have him talk about the show tomorrow. When is he?
On Thursday.
Thursday. If it's not too crazy. I mean, we know the phone is where, you know his phone number?
My $1 million question, because we're on YouTube right now, we can't...
Yeah, and we have zero viewers, so don't worry, I don't think... Hey, for the one person, big shout out for our biggest fan. Biggest fan.
We never get any YouTube love. But my question to you is, can't we, like they do at KPFA, can't we project this outward so that can hear it or no?
Yeah, we can. We should
We're
at
not
some
there
point.
yet.
Yeah,
Okay.
we should.
Well, do you know how to do that?
No, we don't.
Oh, okay.
And
So
we
this was
need to
kinda
figure it out
useless.
because yes, because that was what I was thinking. At some point, please forgive us as we learn this technological divide. At some point, I was like, when Quicto was talking, I was like, they just seeing us here at the mic saying nothing. Well, what actually was happening is that Quicto was on the phone. We were doing a phone interview.
That's
and
right.
at some point,
It's
you guys gonna be
popping
able,
out here.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
popping. It's a popping show you can't hear. But remember, we on the digital streets and we don't know how to drive. So there you go. Bear
No,
with us,
but
fam.
at some point, we will project the voice. They'll be able to hear it.
It'll be happening soon.
Yeah.
I promise. Okay. Yeah, we can just play music.
Yeah, it's 9 minutes, to 7.
But I think maybe you should close with a poem. We don't have to be both of us. I've talked enough. No, you need to. Don't go like that. You need to do
I
the
think we
poem.
just we do a
We can
closing.
do
No, promo.
poets.
Promo, no, about what's happening on Thursday, who's gonna be here.
Well, that
Blah,
plus
blah,
we
blah,
have to
blah.
do an ad. I forgot
Yeah,
to do
with
an
that,
ad.
with that. I don't
But you
think
should
we
still do a poem. No, you
I'm-
still
I have no poem. I need to bring a poem.
You're like, I have no poem.
You ready to come back?
But I just want to talk about this thing.
Right.
How can we? Can I play this? Can you hear it or no? It has to be on there.
So welcome back. You are listening to 96.1 KEXU, the Crossroads, Poor People's Radio, Revolutionary Radio. We just was hearing our brother, powerful brother, Equipto from San Francisco, and the work that they doing out there. Yes, there's still brown and black folks out there still fighting and still resisting the gentrification that's happening. Yes, and so right now we're gonna pass it down to my sister Tiny, who's gonna do a little promo what the shows are coming on and what's happening on Thursday.
Yeah, so again, you listen to 96.1 KSU. That's SU for any of you E5 followers. This is the Crossroads. Now, one of the things to know is that Poor Magazine is in fact Poe. And so we actually do need your support. We don't have any philanthropimp, as I affectionately call it, philanthropimp grants. We don't have any government dough, but we poor though. So the only way we survive is actually with the support of the people, and that keeps us liberated, that keeps us real, and that keeps us truth telling. Because we ain't making media about us. We making about us without us. We making media about us by us, right? And hope all y'all are learning, listening, and staying woke and becoming woke in ways that maybe you didn't before. But what I say is that if you are able to support us, you can go online to poormagazine.org /rev, R-E-V, like revolutionary, _donor. And you can just kick down. We appreciate it. Any crumbs. We also have powerful books and literature by all us poor folks, because Poor Press is our publishing arm. And you can find those on poorpress.net. Shout out to Dee Allen, to Auntie Frances, to Queen Nandi, so many others. But also that you can get an ad on this station. And the way we work that out is that we introduce you, we highlight your art, your liberation art, your micro business. We about supporting other poor people, working class folks, and liberation media makers as well, as neighborhood folks. So you do an ad sponsorship, which runs from $30 to $3,000, whatever you got. All transparency. Bloodstained dollars is real, and is sadly the economy we're still living in. So again, if you're able to do that, we appreciate it. You can email us at poormag, POORMAG, like poormag, at gmail.com if you're interested in getting an ad sponsorship. And then also that gives you an ad in News, which is the liberation newspaper that's created by the youth scholars here in our liberation school. So it's extremely important because that's an all nations, all generations paper, and it is highlighting the work of the youth scholars at Decolonize Academy, but also in this upcoming issue of Decolonize that's going to be hitting the streets on September 5th, there will be an article by Crip Hop Nation, Ronnie, a powerful scholar from the continent, you know, Mama Africa, who's writing about being police harassed there, because we're global. There's a story by Queen PNN-KEXU, our sister in power, about Nia Wilson. There's a powerful story on politics and poverty, and there's the youth scholars writing about the detaining and incarcerating of immigrant youth being $1 billion industry. So there's some powerful work. You can get an ad in the paper, you can get an ad on the radio, and really at the end of the day you can support us Poor People Radio so we can keep going on. Also, to give a commercial, this is a Tuesday and Thursday broadcast. It's myself and Motiado from 6 to 7 on Tuesdays, and then on Thursdays it's from 6 to 7 with myself and Leroy Moore, the powerful, amazing Crip Hop Nation scholar and Poor Magazine, Poet's co-founder. And also, this Thursday at 5 o'clock will be the debut of the Crip Hop Nation Radio Hour at 5 o'clock, where basically Crip Hop Nation has its own hour where he's going to be dropping all the important scholarship on what's happening to powerful, disabled justice warriors all across Pachamama, Mother Earth. Definitely tune in at 5 o'clock on 96.1 FM, KEXU, on your dial in the Park, Boulevard, High Street, and Fruitvale neighborhoods, or on poormagazine.org/radio. So again, that's debuting this Thursday at 5 o'clock, and then at 6 o'clock you'll get the news like you can't get it anywhere else with myself and Leroy at 6 o'clock on 96.1 FM. We're going to close out with a poem by Motiado, who says he has no poem, so give us a second. It's in honor of today's theme of displacement nation, gentrification, and all the other ways that this society is taking us out of our communities that we've been in since we were born, since before we were born, for our mamas, our abuelitos, abuelitas, the generations still to come. And while we're on that topic, just for folks, if you don't know, Homefulness is actually building poor people-led solution to homelessness. And yeah, we call it homefulness. So put that word in your mouth, roll it around, because when people say what we should do about the homeless problem, maybe they should listen to us homeless people. There, what? Because we got our own solution, our own self-determination. Moot?
Yes, and again, thank you, my sister Tanya, again, for putting me on the spot. I was not planning to do a poem, but you know, if there ever was an ask to get a poem out there, then the poet must bring a poem out. And this is called La Misión, you know, but it's also a poem about gentrification that could literally fit for the Fruit Belt, could fit for what happened in the Echo Park. You know, which with this last summer we went out there and we see how gentrified it got with these bushy cafes and their green dreams. Was nothing wrong being healthy, just that you know we don't want you to get healthy while you displace our communities and erase us from communities that at one point were there. So this is called La Misión, but it could be done for any city that's being displaced right now.
1 minute.
La Misión. Es para que la gente se quede y no se aleje. The mission is for our people to stay and not go away. See, because the new conquistadores are here. Speculators, hipsters with pocket full of greens. Can you dig? Imposible sería no pelear y luchar por nuestros barrios, comunidades que poco a poco están desapareciendo. The mission. Impossible is not to fight and fight for a struggle for our barrios that little by little are disappearing. Aquí estamos y no nos vamos. La misión es más que una calle, una avenida. Es un libro de historia y cada calle es una página que relata el presente y el pasado. The mission. The mission. It's more than a street and avenue. It's a book of history. And each street is a page that narrates the past and the present. 16 in Mission is a Gente Plaza. I remember the beautiful weekends I had chopping it out with some elders. Oye, hermano, yo soy Latino. As we bathe in the sun, an elder shouts out. As we break the law by sitting side by side. Sabrosa cumbia playing an old boombox. While my eyes contemplate la belleza de mi gente latina walking by. The beautifulness of folks of color. The scent from 3 blocks away. A hot dogs wrapped with bacon. Oh my God, I think I'm in heaven. No, es just la misión y sus perros calientes. La gente de diferentes países, colores que pintado la misión. The people from different walks of life, colors, flavors, is what we call the mission. The mission. Tus calles maltratadas, mal cuidadas como nuestras comunidades. The mission. Your bruised streets, decay, poorly taken care of like our communities. Aquí estamos y no nos vamos. We are here to stay. See, because they're here, the culture vultures, developers, real estate agents, community haters, looking for the next community to flip like an old house. Clean the black and the brown. Bring the candles and the white picket fences. Aquí estamos y no nos vamos. The mission.
So that's it for tonight's broadcast. Again, you've been listening to KEXU 96.1 FMLP, Poor People's Revolutionary Radio News Hour. This is the third historic broadcast. Tune in on Thursday at 6 o'clock where we'll be doing another powerful news hour. And just know, family, that we trying to be, and we trying to live and be about something different because it is possible. Shout out to Luis Gutierrez. We love you. The amazing bakery in La Misión. You made me smell those smells. And just letting you know, letting all listeners and viewers know that we're going to keep on keeping on no matter what. Ashe, Iwaye to all our ancestors. Oh.
We're going to talk about our love life.
Oh, stop. Bye, everybody.
I know. Wait, let me talk about something.
No, let's not.